I'm curious if you go back to the pre-ChatGPT era where your buyer's risk profile is very different, market awareness is very different. How would you articulate writer's vision then? What was your product vision? How would you define the customer profile you were going after? And what were they looking for that was very different from trillions of parameters, large
Yeah.
models? Yeah. How
I
would you define like that early product vision?
I think we've got this unfair advantage of having had to sell generative AI before there was a word for it that makes it so that we don't talk product, we talk customer. We don't talk about tokens and parameters. We talk about like words and use cases and capabilities of the models. But it's a great question. That vision slide that you put at the beginning or at the end of your seed stage deck, for us, when we were raising, this was Q1 2020, it had the big inflection curve, and it was like AI writing assistant to AI writing. You cut out the assistant. And we actually put that in our decks too. Now, I definitely remember like it was probably like the editor in chief of Mayo Clinic or somebody where like it's like a kill that slide, they're not going to want to see that slide. And
Right,
so
right.
those early months was a lot of what is this? What is it based on? Wait, how did you do that? Um, and the positioning was AI writing assistant. Now, of course, Grammarly is the comp, right? And so even as we were able to do more generative stuff, the go to market was just much more natural to go in on content quality and within like technical documentation teams where we could do a lot more than what Grammarly was able to do, just be a lot more prescriptive, a lot more customization. Now, with those folks, those are actually the last folks that want to be like creative and generating ideas because they know what they want to say. They just got to say it much more clearly and concisely and have it land. And we were able to do all of those things. In the like content copy and ideation side, Phrasey was in that space, is still in that space, wonderful company. Persado is. I had coffee with Alex this morning. Also excellent company and strong product market fit. And for us, it was just a lot less interesting, given where we thought generative was going, for us to look backwards in a way. It wasn't, this is a big space. We weren't that interested in running A/B variations and
Right.
like simulating personality and like trying to actually own a conversion number as a product. There's just a
Right.
lot of complexity. And we love being close to the end user. And I think localization and translation gave us that. As God, mind numbing as it was sometimes, translators are very specific people. There's something really beautiful to the hardship of needing to serve very picky end users who are deep into the craft versus admins buying tools for people. And or like someone who is okay with a black box of just make it do this and not really hands-on into your interfaces. We stayed in that space. Now, we were multi-use case and multi-function from the beginning, like functional area. And so because and Grammarly was doing this as well. I think, it was they were doing it a lot more in support. And because we had just much deeper customization capabilities, because we were using generative and not AI 1.0, only NLP techniques and rules-based stuff, we were able to address marketing use cases and L&D use cases and support use cases, et cetera. So the playbook kind of 2020, 2021, even when we raised our A, was land in marketing and then let the product go across the business. When we did our A, we were probably like 60-70% of the lands were in marketing, but then like about half were using us marketing plus 1, 2, 3 different areas. Both those numbers now are much, much higher. So like most customers using us in 3 or 4 different teams, on 3 or 4 different teams. But the Series A kind of like vision statement was writing is the last unoptimized business process.
Hmm.
And can we approach writing in just a much more like methodical, programmatic way? And again, not having words for generative, right?
Right.
That's how we explained it is like really being able to push a button and have a few parameters and get what you need to do the thing.